Hello. Let me see. All right, who's here with me? It's been a while since I've taught this class. It's been 3 weeks. So who is here with me? I like to know. Just got back from Scotland, trying to get over jet lag and everything else and get back into the swing of things here so yoga can help. All right. So I think I'm going to start right away today and go over to my mat. And then whoever comes. All right. Hi, Michael. Hi, Terry. Thank you. Yeah, it's nice to be back, but it was also totally amazing to be gone. So definitely more of those trips. Bali soon and Scotland again in 2024. Wow. All right. So let's do this. All right. One thing I want to say is that being gone and traveling, I love it. And I'm so aware of how important it is to stay strong and healthy to do it on many levels. So first of all, to stay healthy from your immune system from inside so that you can manage the changes that take place in your body, and then also have a strong immune system to not get sick when you're on vacation. But then also from a physical perspective, all of the moving, the walking, the up and down, the stairs that are everywhere, the uneven pavements. You really, if traveling is something you want to do, which it is something that I love doing, really important to keep your body limber and mobile and strong. So on my Scotland journey, I taught yoga a few times. Probably in the future, we'll teach many more mornings of yoga. Yet we did at least 3 mornings, which is great, in a week. And I didn't teach my live classes. And really part of why I do my live classes is because it keeps me practicing all the time to keep my body strong. And I notice that when I'm gone. I notice how much strength I have in my body, and how important that is. So we're here, do your best, whatever it is we're going to do. Today I'm going to do a lot of joint movement. And so to create fluidity and range of motion in joints and really lubricate your tissues, but then also we'll hold postures. And when we hold them, that's the opportunity to develop the strength aspect. So do what you can. I like to say, do at least what you can and a little bit more, so that each moment you are practicing, you have the opportunity to strengthen or to improve your body. Yet, because we are dealing with ligaments and tendons and joints and muscles and bones, you have to be careful that you don't pull too hard and that you don't create injuries. So be inside your body, and that's the first part. Is let's bring ourselves to this moment. Let's bring ourselves to a place where we are concentrating on just this moment and nothing else, and increasing our body awareness so that we could determine where we should go with each movement. All right, so you're going to need a strap and a block and a blanket. And I want to do a supported back bend because I find that to be very therapeutic on many levels for most of us, probably actually all of us. The only people that have issues with a supported back bend is if you have a current tear in your rotator cuff in your shoulder. So if you do have a rotator cuff tear, you want to be careful not to elevate too far away from the ground, because the more you stretch this part of your body, the worse it will be or become. So yes, yoga and physical asana is really therapeutic, but there's also times where you have to be careful, and especially if you have joint issues. So you know your body, you know what you should and shouldn't do. So follow that. Let's roll up our blanket. The tighter the blanket roll is and the thicker the blanket, the deeper that stretch will be in your body. So you decide what you need to do here. And when we do go down on the ground, bringing your arms out to the side is a way to deepen this stretch. So using the prop to get the back bend, to open up and stretch the front of your spine, stretch your chest and shoulder muscles. So wherever you put your arms is going to determine how much stretch you get. So even before you come down, try that. Put your arms out to the side and notice that the farther away you go, the more stretch you're going to feel in your arms. And then if you start to elevate your upper arm bone, so elevating this arm, your upper arm, you'll feel even more stretch. So just notice that here before you come down. And then when you have something behind your spine, you're going to make that even more intense. So notice what is right for you, and then bring yourself onto the ground. Keep your tushy on the floor and only let the prop be at your spine. Bringing yourself down onto the ground. And then arrange yourself so that you have support underneath your back. Do whatever you need to do with the blanket at your head and neck so that you feel supported in the right way. And then clear your space to the side so that you can bring your arms into a position where you feel an appropriate stretch for you. I like my knees bent. You may prefer to have your legs straight. So do what's appropriate for you and then let your arms rest alongside your body. If you do have your knees bent, let your feet be a little wider than your body and let your knees touch each other. And if your back is feeling a lot of tension, your low back, if you walk your feet closer to your body, you'll get a little more movement into your pelvis and remove some of that tension from the lower back. So do what's appropriate for you. Let your arms go out to the sides. And then close your eyes, close your mouth, and start to connect to your breath. And as you connect to your breath, notice what you notice in your body. So be very focused to this present moment and to your body. And try to let the tension leave your body. So put yourself into a place of tension, a place of stretch, and then allow relaxation to seep into your body. Nothing to do other than breathe and be in this present moment. And bring your breath to your heart area, to your chest. Deepen the breath so you feel a stretch around the heart. And see if you can breathe so deep that you actually feel a stretch at the underarms. And then breathe deeper now to the lower ribs. Imagine that you have an inner tube around your lower ribs. And as you breathe, you expand an inch in each direction, front, back, and sides. And you gently push into this inner tube that's right around your lower rib cage. Feel the sides expand and the back of your body, not just the front. And now bring your awareness down to your lower belly, the sides and the low back, and bring your breath very deep. Use your breath to warm up and stretch your insides. So using the breath, feeling stretch. Let your mind be inside your body. Breathing in and out through your nose, all the way down to your pelvis. And then finishing up your last 3 breaths. And let your breath go. Give it back to your body to breathe itself. Bringing your awareness to your head and your neck and whatever prop you're on. We're going to do a little side to side, stretching the upper back and the neck, moving the cervical spine, clearing the cobwebs in your upper back and neck area. Inhale. As you exhale, let your head slowly move towards one direction. And then inhale back up to center. Exhale the other direction. Inhaling back up to center and exhaling into the deep stretch. Be in your neck and your upper back and feel what you're stretching. Feel what you're moving. And then bring yourself back to center. Bring your arms out to the side. Exhale. Inhale. And as you exhale, bring your hands up and then cross them over to hug yourself. Really squeeze and hug yourself. Inhale, open. Let your elbows be unbent if you can to deepen the stretch on the inhale when you open your arms. And then as you exhale, hugging yourself, compressing and squeezing the breath out of your lungs. Inhale to open. Exhale to close. Bring your arms a little lower so they're right above your heart and really compress your chest, squeeze the breath out. Feel your arms pressing towards your rib cage to compress the breath out of your body. And then inhale, take in a really deep breath on the inhale. Exhale and inhale. Last one. And then let's bring the arms down alongside your body, like you're karate chopping the floor. Palms face your body, thumbs are up. Exhale. Inhale, let the right arm go up. Unbend the elbow, reach the fingers up towards the sky, and reach towards the back wall as you move your arm back. Try to touch the thumb towards the floor or to the floor if you can, and then exhale to come down. Do the same thing with the left. Inhale, up. And exhale back. So only go to the place where you could keep your arms straight, whether you touch the floor or not. It doesn't matter. It's about the journey and not the destination. You inhale to lift your arm up. You exhale to bring it back. Mobilizing the shoulder, lubricating that joint, moistening the muscles and the tissues of your shoulder to keep it healthy and to protect it as you move. One more with the single arms. And let's move into double arms. And see if you could feel your belly stretch when you move your arms up, lifting your arms up, stretching the front of your body, stretching your belly. Farther you go, you might feel a deeper stretch in the belly area, lengthening your spine, lengthening your torso. Make sure this feels okay for your shoulder to move in this way. And then with the eyes closed, noticing the symmetry or asymmetry that exists in your body. One more. And then bring yourself back to center. So depending what you have behind your body, I have a blanket, maybe you do, maybe you have something else. We're gonna go slow here. We're gonna try to mobilize the lower body and keep the upper body stationary. So whatever you're on, trying to keep your rib cage and your upper body not moving or stationary and allowing the lower body to move. So be careful here. Pay attention to what's happening. When we start to move our legs side to side, and especially if we allow the pelvis to tilt, we're actually going into low back muscles and trunk rotation muscles. So pay attention to how this feels. Bring your arms out to the side and then start to move your legs side to side. Keep the soles of the feet on the ground, keep the tushy on the ground, and keep the sacrum, which is the base of your spine, connected to the ground. So you're not tilting your pelvis. You're stretching your quadriceps, you're stretching your hips, noticing how this feels in your body. And then bring yourself back to center. Take your feet so that they're as wide as your mat or off your mat. And paying attention to your body as you do this. Keep the soles of the feet on the ground. See if you can feel this in your hip. This is actually a hip joint movement. Internal, external rotation. So either closing your eyes to be in your body and feel your body, or if there's any trepidation, you could open your eyes and feel what you feel when your eyes are open. And then if you'd like to explore letting your legs go a little farther so that the soles roll off the ground, you get a deeper stretch in the front of your body, maybe around the lower rib cage, the waist, front of the hip, and maybe all the way down into the quadricep. Bring yourself back up, but go slow and go with awareness, because we are manipulating our spine here with a blanket at the back. So doing what's appropriate for your body, being very body aware. And then bring yourself back to center. Come into a fully outstretched body, legs are straight, pointing your toes and reaching through your fingers, trying to be as long as you could be. Imagine that someone gently takes a hold of your wrists and your ankles and tries to lengthen your body as much as possible. Noticing where you feel the stretch, especially in the mid-body area, right around the belly. And then flex your wrists, flex your feet. So reach through the heel of the hands, the heel of the feet. A different stretch, moving into the underside of your legs and of your arms. Different set of muscles. Still noticing, do you feel this in the middle of your body? Take one more breath. And then bending your arms, bending your knees. Bring yourself all the way off onto your side. Stay here for a breath or two. And then using your hands to push yourself up and away from the floor. And then come to a kneeling, if your knees will let you, or a seated position. And just close your eyes, noticing what you notice about your body right now. Your spine, your belly. Notice if what you did was appropriate, especially if you have shoulder issues. And then gently allow your eyes to blink themselves open. All right, moving onwards. Take your blanket and notice if you feel mellow. I feel very mellow right now. Not sure if it's the jet lag or was that a really parasympathetic nervous system movement practice. All right, let's come on to the blanket. Coming onto all fours. Settling your hips, settling your shoulders. So point your finger forward if you can. So if the wrists will let you, for those with wrist issues, fingers out to the side may be doable for you. And then have your fingers forward, pretty far forward, so they're not underneath your shoulders, and then spread your knees. And let's do movement in our shoulders. So the shoulder joint and hip joint are circles, they're balls and sockets. So let's do a circular pattern, moving your body forward, to the side, back, and to the other side. So rolling around in your shoulders and your hips. Make sure that feels okay for you. Creating the secretion of the synovial fluid in those joints. Closing your eyes, feeling what you notice, or noticing what you notice, feeling what you feel. And then come back to center. Let's go in the opposite direction. Notice how fluid your circle is. Are there parts of it that you get sticky or stuck? And go slow so you can explore your joints and all the muscles that are involved. And then bring yourself back to neutral. Bring yourself all the way up. Bring yourself onto your shins. Shake your wrists. Bring your hands down alongside your body. So if your knees are closer together, it's going to be a little bit more challenging for balance, and that may be something that you want to do. Or if you're already challenged with balance, having your legs a little wider will create a wider base for balance. So choose what's appropriate for you. Take your hands down alongside your body, exhale, and then inhale, let your palms go out to the side. Let your chin go up as your hands go up to really stretch your body here in this position. And then exhale, turn your palms down, let your palms come down, let your chin come towards your chest and lengthen the back of your neck. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more. Inhale up. From here, let one arm go down, one arm go up, and then switch. Inhale up, exhale over. So either moving slow or quick, you decide. But really feel that stretch in your body. So this is great for those with low back issues because you're stretching the low back muscles here. And then bring yourself back to center. Shake your wrists, shake your arms. Let's come onto all fours. So for those with wrist issues, modify in whatever way you need. If you don't have wrist issues, I'd like you to strengthen your wrists, really important part of healthy aging. Spread your fingers, pointer fingers are pointing forward, and you have stacked joints. Your wrist, your elbow, and your shoulders are stacked, and you have a appropriate space between your knee and your wrist. So what I notice in person with people when I teach is that their hands are too close to their body. So they have a really narrow base. Try to be a little bit farther apart and have your hands underneath your shoulders because you need stability. So you really want to be in a joint aligned position in the shoulders and in the hips. So let's start to move just the pelvis. Imagine you have a paintbrush taped onto your lower spine, and you're going to paint a strip of paint up and down the back wall. Painting down the back wall, stretching the lumbar spine, bringing yourself into flexion in the lumbar spine, and then painting up the wall, coming into extension. Only tilting the pelvis forward and backwards. Feel that stretch in the low back when you come into flexion, painting down the wall. And when you paint up the wall, feel the stretch in your belly from the pubic bone to the lower ribs. Exhale down and inhale up. So flexion and extension in your lumbar spine. And then let's take that farther up the spine. So exhale down the back wall. If you have osteoporosis, stop there. If not, you could bring a rounding or a flexion into thoracic and cervical. And then inhale into extension. Everyone can do this with a long spine. Tip of the crown of the head up towards the sky, tailbone up towards the sky. Exhale into flexion. Inhale into extension. Really accentuate that extension to feel the belly stretch. And then one more in each direction. And then bring yourself back. If you're able to flip your toes under, bring your heels together. And then for those that have knees that don't bend, be up in a kneeling position. Take your wrists, take your fingers, move your fingers, look at all the joints in your fingers, moving your fingers and then moving your wrists. And then in the other direction. So take your block, let's add some spinal rotation. So that was warming up the spine with flexion and extension. Let's do that with rotation. So bring your block onto the ground, whatever level you need. We're going to come into rotation, spinal rotation. So leading with the elbow, do what's appropriate for you. Some of you may need to be higher, some lower. Just see what's right for you. But make sure your hand is pretty far forward so you have a lot of space here. Exhale, and then inhale and exhale. Inhale. Let your shoulder blades slide towards the spine. So you could do this with a straight arm, or you could bend your elbow. Feel that stretch in your trunk, in your torso, stretching rotational muscles. Close your eyes and feel what's happening in your body. And then this next one, we're going to come in and stay there. Stay there and hold. Hold into a place of stretch. And then bring yourself out. Let's go to the other side. So this is actually a spinal movement, rotation. Rib cage moving opposite of pelvis. Exhale, and then inhale into rotation. Exhale out. Go slow, close your eyes, feel this in your body. And then one more, come into a position where you can hold. And then bring yourself out, come all the way back, either in a kneeling position, flipping your toes under, stretching your feet, taking your wrist, shaking your wrists. And then move your wrists around in circles. Try to keep your arms straight. So it's not this. You're not moving your shoulder. Make it be just the wrist. And then shake your wrists. So let's come forward and stretch our hip flexors. So whenever we're up in a kneeling position or all fours, we're actually using weight bearing to stretch. So be careful here because this will be a deeper stretch. This is stretching the hips. Bring your leg forward. So bring a leg forward. You could use the block here if you need. Stretching the hip flexor of the back leg and then working the glutes and the underside of the front. So for those with knee issues, with hip issues, this is going to be really protective of those joints, really strengthening the back of your body. So if that's you, which we all want stronger hips and knees, but if you have issues in particular, really push the heel into the ground to feel that activation of the glutes. So we're going to move in and out of this. You could have your hand on the block and stay low, or you could come all the way up, a little bit more challenging in the hip joint for balance. Exhale, and then inhale, let your spine be open, look forward and up as you come forward, and then exhale back. The more forward your foot is, the harder it is for balance, but really push that front heel into the ground, activating the glute. And then one more, come forward, stay here. Either have your hands up here, bring your hand onto the block, or bring your hand onto the ground if you can. You could bring both hands on the inside of that forward foot, coming into lizard if that's appropriate. So whatever's appropriate for you. This is a pretty deep hip stretch. It's a lunge. You're really going to stretch the hip joint. And then wherever you are, take that front foot and roll the front foot onto the pinky toe edge. Move that knee to the side. Get a deeper stretch in the inner thigh muscles, the adductors. Let your breath go to wherever you have the most tension. Keep your head active. Don't let your head hang. Take one more breath. And then come out by bringing your joints into a safe position. So bring the foot onto the ground, activate that front foot, really push that heel into the ground to activate your glutes. Push your foot into the ground to bring yourself up and all the way out. And then let's go to the other side. So be careful with this because there's a lot of weight bearing that's taking place in this stretch. So you want to make sure that you stay safe. Wider stance if you're feeling uncomfortable with balance. Hand up here or hand on the block, either here, here, or here. So depending on what you need. Now we're stretching the hip flexor muscle group on the back leg here and really activating the posterior chain or the back of your body on that front foot. So bring yourself up, exhale, and then inhale into the stretch, letting your whole pelvis move forward. Exhale back. And on this next one, you're going to come forward and stay. Slower you move, the harder it is to find joint coordination and balance. So you're challenging yourself with that as well. So do what you need to do on this side. If you could come all the way down onto the ground, that's lizard, or even on a block. Of course, don't push it, only do what you should do in your body. Deep breaths here. And then take that front foot and roll to the pinky toe edge. Feel that inner thigh stretch. Take one more breath. And then bring your foot back. Bring yourself up. Push that front foot into the floor a lot to help you come out of this. And then bring yourself all the way out in whatever rest position is best for you. Kneeling if your knees don't bend, or on your heels if they do. Close your eyes. Close your mouth. Breathe. Let your awareness go down into your hips, noticing what you notice after that deep stretch. Take one more breath. And blink your eyes open. So we're going to come into plank because this is a tremendous posture for strengthening the front of your body, but it's also a really great power move to do often so that you maintain strength of muscles, which is going to be important for joints and for bones. So whatever variation of plank you would like to do, if you do the modification, you want to have your hands forward so that you do have to let your body go forward. So you are really trying to hold up that weight if you come forward and if you're doing the modification. And then if you can flip your toes under and take your knees off, try that, pushing through your heels so you distribute the weight between hands and feet. Make sure all 10 toes are pressing into the ground. And then if you're up for a challenge, take one leg off into a three-legged plank. And then switch. Pushing away from the floor with the hands and the feet. Long spine from the tail to the crown of the head. Take one more breath. And then bring your knees down. Take your knees wide. Take your hands wide. So your bend is happening at your hip joint, bringing your belly closer to the top thighs, letting your tushy go in the air. Bring yourself back, and then if you can, let your forehead rest on the ground, do that, or grab your block and put your forehead on your block. Catch your breath here. Take one more breath. Let's stretch the side body. So take your hands over to the right. Take your hands over to the right. Rest your head on your left arm. Push your hips to the left and let your head rest on your arm. Feel that stretch along the left side of your body. Take one more breath. And then walk yourself over to the left. Arms are straight. Put your head on your right arm. Push your hips to the right and feel that stretch on the right side. Take one more breath. Then bring yourself back up to center. So a little to strengthen the upper body and to stretch the calves, really important to stretch the calves. And I don't think we do this often enough. So we're gonna do a variation of downward facing dog. The really important thing is that whenever you do any kind of folding forward, that you do it at your hip joint and not in your spine. So you wanna keep this part of your spine open, especially if you have osteoporosis, not letting there be a collapse or letting the hands come closer together. So with the down dog, it's a real deep hip bend. The spine is still long. You don't have a rounding in your body. So we're gonna do this to stretch our calves because it's a really great way to stretch the back of the body. It's also pretty intense and it develops a lot of upper body strength. Much easier for men to do this than it is for us women to do this. Point your fingers are forward, arms are out to the side. Let your knees be wide, flip your toes under, and then push your body weight back, lift your tushy up in the air, and then start to push one heel at a time towards the ground. Let your head be active, don't let it hang. Pushing one heel towards the ground. You may not even get close to the ground, but pushing it towards, trying to unbend the knee and stretching the calf, the Achilles tendon, which is attached to your plantar fascia. So really keeping your feet, your heels, your ankles, and your calves healthy. Important for knees, for back, for hips, for everything. And then if you're able to push both heels towards the ground, try that. Making sure your spine is long. Knees could be straight or bent. Pretty intense in the calf area. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself down and out. Take a break, whatever that means for you, kneeling or lower kneeling, eyes are closed, catch your breath. And then allow your eyes to blink themselves open. All right, shake your arms. So let's go down on the ground and mobilize our spine, mobilize our legs. Take your blanket to the top of your mat. Make sure that you have your block and strap handy. And then bring yourself down. Come all the way down. So now your back is on the ground. Move your blanket so it's only underneath your head. And for those that have a lot of rounding in the upper spine, you could have a little bit more of a deeper fold. So fold your blanket in two if you need. Let your feet be all the way off the mat. And then start to let the knees go side to side, keeping the soles of the feet on the ground. Keep your pelvis stable. Feel the sacrum, the base of the spine, in the ground. As you move side to side, feeling that stretch in the hips. And start to let your legs go a little farther. Go slow here. It's not about touching the ground. It's about rolling the hip and the joint to the maximum range of motion and stretching all the muscles that mobilize that joint. Then let your head go the other direction. Close your eyes. This is a twisting action. The spine is involved, and it could feel therapeutic. Make it be therapeutic and not too intense. And bring yourself back to center. Let's stretch one side. So let the knees move towards the right. Let the head move towards the left. When you get to your full range of motion, take the left hand, flex the wrist, reach long with that left arm, not too close to your body. Let it be away from you, reaching to the heel of the hand. And then try to stretch that left side as much as possible, pushing the left big toe edge into the floor, stretching your left side. And take one more breath. Let's go to the other side. So you bring yourself back up to neutral, letting your legs go to the left, your head to the right. From here, lengthening the right arm, reaching to the heel of the hand, lengthening the right side body. Take one more breath, and then bring yourself back to center. Walk your feet back to center. Let's draw one knee in, hold on to either on your shin or underneath your knee. Underneath your hamstring. So with knee issues, sometimes that compression is too intense. So see what's the appropriate thing for you and your body. Holding underneath your hamstring can be effective as well. Then straighten the opposite leg. So drawing the knee into your chest, straightening the opposite leg. Feel that in your body. Maybe you feel compression in the leg that's in and you feel lengthening in the opposite. Just noticing what you notice here. Really draw that knee towards your chest. And then breathe into that top thigh. Make this be work, finding the deepest stretch you can. Take one more breath. And then we're going to switch. So contract your core, switching your legs. Go slow. Slower is harder. Slower is more muscle work. Other side. Either holding onto the shin or holding underneath. Doing what you need to do for your body. Take one more breath. And then draw the knees up towards the chest. Let's do one leg at a time, bending and unbending. I find this to be great for those with knee issues because there's no pressure on your knees and you're able to mobilize that joint. But of course, pay attention to your body because most people are able to do this without pain or discomfort, but not all maybe. Now start to lead with the center of your heel up towards the sky so you feel the stretch in the back of the legs, in the calves. And if your legs are right above your pelvis, you're going to be doing more quad work, hip flexor work, and core work. And then both at the same time. And then bring your legs up to a static hold. If they could be right above your pelvis, that's great. If they could be straight, that would be great. Of course, if those are not available, then that's fine too. Reaching with the heels, try to flatten the soles up towards the sky as if you were holding a tray on your feet. A lot of core work, hip flexor work. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself into the tabletop position. Bring one foot down and then the other. So trying to keep your knees right above your pelvis, using the core here to not let the low back fly off the ground. So really activate the core, hug your lumbar spine, stabilize your trunk. Farther away from your body you go, the harder it is. Slower pace, more work. Bring your legs back up. If you're able to do two at one time, try that. If not, stick with single. Try to keep your sacrum pressing into the ground. One more. And then draw the knees into your chest. Let the lower back flatten into the ground. Side to side across the top edge of your pelvis. And then bring your feet onto the ground. Take the strap and draw your left foot up. Bring the strap onto your left foot. Wrap your hands around the strap. Keep your right leg bent.
The sole of the foot is up towards the sky. Bend your knee. Inhale to bend, exhale to straighten. So as you move towards straight, that's where you feel a pretty intense stretch. And then come to a straight leg, or as straight as you could get, and then draw the leg towards the wall behind you. Feel that stretch behind the hamstring. Try to push the left buttock into the ground. And take one more breath. And bring yourself back to center. Take your hands off for a second. And then hold on to the strap again. Let's stretch the ankle. So pull on the strap that's in the right hand, stretching the left ankle joint. And then pull on the strap that's in the left hand, stretching the ankle, but not quite as intensely as when you do the foot, where you're stretching the outside of the ankle. Try to keep your legs stationary, kneecap pointing backwards the whole time. Then come back to stable, non-moving. Bring the right foot up. Left knee is bent. Take your hands, wrap your hands around the strap. So working with function and stretching the muscles. Kneecap is pointing back. When you bend and straighten, look at your leg to make sure it's bending straight back and not out to the side. And then coming to a position where you hold the leg stationary. Guiding the leg towards the wall behind you. Straight leg if you can. Feel that stretch behind the thigh. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back up to center. We're going to stretch the ankle. So pull on the strap that's in the left hand, stretching the right ankle joint. And then pull on the strap in the right hand, still stretching the leg, but just this joint moves in this direction. And then bring yourself back to neutral. Let's take the strap off. Bring both legs into the air. Inhale to point strongly so you feel that in the front of your feet. Exhale, flex. Point and flex. And then circles. So let your legs be spread apart a little. Circles in one direction. And then circles in the other. And then draw your knees into your chest. And then bring your feet onto the ground. So let's do spinal undulation, do bridge. Lots of amazing things here. Strengthening the spine, the muscles in the back of the body, the core muscles, glutes, low back, really great for healthy aging and healthy joints. So you could keep the blanket behind your head and make it lower if you did double it to do the other part of the practice. And then walk your feet so that when your foot goes onto the ground, it's in a neutral. It's not too close to your body. Bring your feet onto the ground. Take your hands down alongside your body. Then push your arms into the ground. Lift your rib cage away. Slide the shoulder blades towards the spine. Feet are hip distance, and then walk your feet away from you just a little bit. So we're only going to lift off to about the lower ribs. Begin by tilting the pelvis back or squeezing the tushy cheeks to tilt your pelvis backwards. Exhale. As you inhale, push your feet into the ground, squeeze your tushy, lift your tushy off the ground, let the right hand come up, palm is in, thumb is back, and let your head roll to the left. And slowly exhale to come down. Squeezing the tushy, pushing away from the ground, lifting your left arm up, head rolls to the right. Eyes can be closed here. Exhale back. Feel the glutes, feel the hamstrings. Bring yourself back to neutral. Keep your head stationary. Let both arms go up. Squeeze your tushy. Lift your tushy away from the ground. And then exhale to lower. Go slow. Slower is harder. More therapeutic value in moving slower. One more. And then bring yourself all the way down. Rest, either if you need to bring in your knees to your chest, do that. If not, just rest. And then grab your block. Bring your block between your knees. Walk your feet closer to your body. We're going to undulate the spine, squeezing the block. Move the blanket away from your head. Feet are closer to your body. Your goal now is to bend your spine, to stretch the front of your body, to activate the back of your body. So bend your elbows alongside your body. Palms face each other, fingers are up towards the sky. Feet are closer to your body. Exhale, long neck. As you inhale, squeeze your tushy and push into the ground to lift your pelvis up and away from the ground. Start lifting the rib cage away from the ground and use your arms to help you lift even more rib cage away. Exhale to lower. Go slow. Inhale. And exhale. Undulate your spine and feel that happening. The next one, come up and stay up. And hold here for 5 long, slow, deep breaths. And then bring yourself down slowly, 1 vertebra at a time. Take the block out, bring the blanket back, draw the knees into your chest. Then grab your strap, loop your strap. So if you have the ability to loop it, loop it. If not, you could tie it. Bring the strap, put your feet in the strap and bring the strap to the top part of your upper thighs. And when you push out, your legs should be hip distance. Bring your feet onto the floor, walk them closer to your body. Take your blanket away from the back of your head. We're gonna move in the bridge, activating the lateral chain, the side body. You're gonna get a little higher and a little bit more bend in your spine here. Take your arms, push them into the ground, lift your ribs up, slide your shoulder blades towards your spine, palms face each other, feet are close to your body. Begin by pushing out strongly into the strap, and you'll see how you're able to tilt your pelvis backwards when you do that. Exhale. As you inhale, push your feet in the floor, squeeze your tushy, push out on the strap, and peel your spine up and away from the ground. Notice how much bend you're able to get into your spine, and then exhale to lower down. If your knees over your kneecap, if you feel a pulling sensation, you can walk your feet away from your body a little. Those are the tendons of the quadricep muscle group, really stretching the quads and the front of the body in the bridge and strengthening the back of the body. Move with breath. You inhale to lift and you exhale to lower. We're going to do one more and hold it for 5 breaths. When you finish your 5th breath, bringing yourself down slowly with length in your torso. Bring the blanket back behind your head. Take the strap off, knees to chest. Let your legs go in the air, your arms go in the air. And bringing yourself into Shavasana, posture of integration, and allow all that was done in the practice to create new memories of function and fluidity in your body.
kame, govinde mukande, udare apare, hariyam kariyam, nidame 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 kame.
Gently begin to deepen your breath. And start to wiggle your fingers and toes, move your arms and your legs. Bending your knees, draw your knees into your chest, rocking side to side. Then bring yourself onto your side, and then all the way up. Kneeling or seated, keep your eyes closed, stay in this place that you're in now. Bring your hands together, right at your heart, press your heart to your hands to your heart. Let's close with a humming sound. Exhale. Inhale. Hands to the forehead. Bowing in gratitude for the practice, for the opportunity of self-care, healthy aging, strong body, bones, muscles, and joints. So thanks for joining me. Oh boy. So that felt pretty good. Hopefully that's the case for you as well. If anybody wants to let me know how they're feeling. You're welcome, Michael. Yeah, sorry. I know I was off. I usually don't do that, but I had to. And I do create videos for you to do. So hopefully you do the videos that I've created. And I know that a lot of people actually practice not live with me, but they practice after. So these exist for you. What would I call today? I don't know. I'd call it healthy joints, probably. A lot of joint work today.
All right. Well, it's good to be back, and I am back until I go to Bali in September. And if any of you want to join me, there's still spots. Good, Terry. I'm glad. All right. So thank you, and I will see you when I see you. All right. Bye.